other thing I forgot to mention is I make my kids, when they journal every day, do gratitude in the morning and in the evening. And it's been amazing to see that growth, because I've shifted their personalities in terms of happiness, because everybody's looking for specific situations to make them happy. Yeah. And I always tell them, like, I've explained to them that happiness is within. And I said, I'm going to show you exactly how. And I'm like, you guys journal every day, right? I'm like, when you start saying things that you're grateful for and why you're grateful, it's not just I'm grateful for waking up. I'm grateful because I woke up this morning because I get to spend another day with my family. You know, you always explain why behind it. It pivots the mind to think and to find the positive in almost every negative situation. And I said, happiness is within. You can create your own heaven or hell inside of you by just thinking about, if a bad situation happened, if you focus just on the bad, you are living in hell. But if you say, oh, this happened, but that's going to allow me to do this now. Now you've focused on the positive, and you've created that happiness or the joy inside of you. And if you live your life that way, it's great. The other thing in the journal is I constantly bring empathy. So to focus on what positive things happened to you the previous day. Also, compassion. So, hey, think of someone in your life that you love. And this is the family journal that I created. So it says core values. So there's a core value exercise, and you write down your core values. And then inside, there's a morning part and the night part, the evening part. In the morning, it's, your top goals for the day, and then one positive experience that happened to you yesterday. And then think of someone in your life and write down 5 things you love about them, and then what you're grateful for, and your daily affirmations. And then the evening is your biggest challenge and how you overcame it, top lessons learned, today's wins, what you're grateful for, and did you complete your chores and your notes. And so what it does is each single item on there affects the way they think about stuff. So setting goals, super important. So you identify what you're striving for that day. Your daily affirmations. Who are you? Who are you? I'm safe. I'm strong. I'm a warrior kid. My son loves the Jocko.
So do my boys. So,
but at the end of the day, what was your challenge? What did you deal with? How'd you overcome it? What lesson did you learn from today? And then what were your wins? What were you grateful for? And so at the end of the week, on day 7, this is our family meeting day, we compile the list. So what were your top wins for that last week? What were the lessons you learned from that week? What was your biggest challenge? How did you overcome that one challenge? And what are your goals for the following, your big goals? And so we do this every week, and it helps build that positivity, that safety, that, hey, I'm smart enough to figure things out into their mind. That builds their confidence. So I just want to say that it's super important for kids to have that.
I love that. The warrior kid has been fun for me to be able to have chats with my kids about that. And so there's a buddy of mine that business partner / friend. He was just down here, and we went golfing. Me, him, one of my other partners, and my son. So the 4 of us went out. And this guy's son is 10. He turns 11 later on this year. And the kid's goal, one of his goals, to be, I think it was top 5 or top 10 in the world's golf championship for kids.
Wow, that's a big goal.
He's super good. He's a really good golfer, and he's got a really good caddy for a dad. His dad is an awesome caddy. So while he was down here, he said, "Hey, do you mind?" We played a round where it's called 666, where you play 6 holes with each person that's out there. So there's 4 of us. So you play 6 holes with each person on the teams, and you just rallying it up. So he was like, "Hey, when I'm partnered with your son, do you mind if I caddy him?" And I was like, "I would love for you to do that," because I'm taking notes about how he's caddying, how he's doing, because I am not the best caddy, right? I'm an okay golfer, which means I'm just a moderately okay caddy, and I know that I can show up better for my son and how to do all of this. But he actually came down and he caddied him. I had him on the podcast just a few weeks ago. he came and he was caddying my son, and the way he talked to him, the way he just helped him know that like it really doesn't matter where the shot goes. It matters that you're confident in what you're doing. It matters that you're enjoying this game, and we're going out and doing these things. But he had this journal. It was a sports journal, and my son is now excited to go and write down the sports journal. Like he wants to go in and do it, and it's like the first 60 pages is all about that, the mindset side of it, because mindset, especially like mindset's important everywhere, but in golf, it will annihilate your game. I would imagine similarly in jiu-jitsu. If your mindset is not where it needs to be when you're out there, you are going to lose miserably, and it's going to suck. So I mean, I really want to, and to your point, like if I'm not doing it, I started to try to journal, and I'm terrible at it. Once I do it, I feel good. I'm just terrible at making it a part of my routine. So I want to write those things down, like you said. I mean, like the amount of tactical things that I'm taking away from this are awesome. So hopefully, if anybody is listening, which maybe I have 3 people listening to this one, we'll see.
So if they take anything away, fast forward to this one thing. If you can't do it, don't expect it from your kids.
Yeah.
Shift it to who you are, and then it becomes part of their life as well.
And I would imagine, and maybe you can relate this to the business side as well, because I would imagine to be the similar thing. Like if you can't do it as a leader in your business, why are you expecting everybody else to do it, right? I mean, we talk about that in business all the time, right? Like you've got to be willing to mop up the bathroom to expect everybody else to be able to take care of the facility the same way you do, like why do we not look at that same thing with our kids? Like, oh no, you need to eat all of these things while you're out ordering pizza all the daggum time.
Yeah, dude, that's trash.
Yeah. It's they do as I say, not as I do. Culture needs to disappear, And I think that was a lot more visible when we were, well, maybe not. Maybe it's just because of the world that we've surrounded ourselves by. But that seemed like it was a lot more visible back when we were younger.
Well, social media has its pluses, but it also has a lot of negatives. It's corrupted the hell out of these kids, and they're living this life to be like these social media influencers. These influencers are marketing geniuses, right? They're just trying to get attention. And so it's bad. That's why I'm like, I don't know how other people view social media for their kids. Some people are like, yeah, it's great. They get to express themselves. They get to build a YouTube page. They get to do this. They get to do that. And, I could be hindering my children by not allowing them to do all these things. Like we don't have video games in our house, and not honestly, it's not even because I'm against video games. I grew up playing video games and I love video games. My kids just don't care. They want to play sports. They want to go outside. They want to swim. They want to play. They want to do rollerblades. They want to play hockey. They want to play basketball. They want to play soccer. They want to play things. They want to wrestle. So I don't tell them, no, you can't do that. Stay inside and play video games. Now, social media is different because they want to go on these horrible platforms. So that they can follow these people who are doing stupid things, and then they want to mimic it. So I've had to eliminate that, and then now I have to coach them that why we use social media or why we use YouTube as a learning platform versus a following platform. So what are we using it for? We have to identify why we do this. And so we're going to go in and use YouTube, and we're going to follow people that align with what we want to learn. So my son is obsessed with, he wants to be a doctor. He's like, I want to be that. I want to help people. I want to do this. I don't know where he gets it from. And so I'm like, dude, you want to learn about health? Here are the big name guys, right? And so you could follow these guys versus some kid who's, like doing bottle flip from 50 miles away or 50 yards away, and then it's like, or somebody's pouring like milk down his sister's back and then she's going crazy, and then I don't want them to get that addictive part because social media is addictive.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. It's rough. I mean, it's addictive for adults, let alone kids. Like it's just, it's a boy. And then let's not even go down the path of what other things are out there on the internet and social media that like besides the addictive part, but the dangerous parts of what they could get exposed to.
Dude, I know people who they'll start following something, right? Or here's what happens. They go through, they see something that is like, whoa, it surprised them. And then they only paused on it for 3 to 5 seconds because it kind of surprised them. And then 3 to 5 seconds later, now they get 2 or 3 more of those things because the algorithm sees that.
Yeah.
And then it becomes part of their social media and they're seeing it constantly. So now it becomes normal for them, which is something that's technically not normal or you want your child exposed to. And then they're like, oh, well, now maybe I should do that.
Yep.
And then they go down this road because all started with a hook that took 3 seconds. And now because they say, because you're a culmination of what? The 5 people you're around, right? But you're also a culmination of your environment. So if your environment is all things that you don't agree with, like let's say, for instance, it's something that's not too egregious, but it's something that, like a tattoo, right? You scroll, oh, this guy has a cool tattoo. And let's say you're the type of person that teaches your kids you shouldn't ink your body, right? Take care of your body, don't ink it, or you might change your mind. And this isn't something that's really that serious, but I'm using it as lightly, but how easily you can be influenced. And so they look and it stopped for 3 seconds. Oh, they saw that was cool. Now the next thing pops up. You start seeing people who get tattoos all the time, right? Next thing you know, you start liking all these people. And now for the next year or two, all you do is see these people who are inked up, ink masters, and this and all this stuff. And then you're like, you know what? I'm going to go get tats.